recording on this computer. Awesome. Wait for everything to get started. Have a little coffee here. Okay, looks like we're live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to, what is it today? It's Sunday. I just got back from a long run. I had a nice shower. I'm drinking a cup of coffee in my nice New Orleans cup. I don't know if you can see that. Anybody from New Orleans in here? Anybody from New Orleans? Anyway, I'm having some coffee, and I wanted to just come in here and talk about something real quick. I put as the title of this video, we expect perfection when you're cooking green beans and when you're defining chili. And other than that, we don't expect perfection in this group. Let me explain what I mean by that. We have a couple of ongoing inside jokes in 90-10 Nutrition, and one of them relates to green beans and one relates to chili. Okay, so the first one, green beans. There's a recipe in our database called 7-minute green beans. It's one of my favorite recipes. Gosh, I need a haircut. It's one of my favorite recipes. I have it with a lot of things. I cook green beans a lot because one day I found this way to cook green beans using the 7-minute method that just makes them just right for what I like them, exactly how I like them. So I started telling people about 7-minute green beans, and when I think something is awesome and I'm passionate about it, I start just talking about it all the time, and I tell people about it. It's why I talk about 90-10, because I'm passionate about 90-10. I'm passionate about real food. I'm passionate about clean eating. And so I found this method and I started talking to people about it, and it became a joke because I was so passionate about 7 minutes, that it was 7 minutes was the amount of time that you cook them, that people like Heidi, who does a lot of the recipes around here, and Lisa Charters, who's been with us for a really long time, one of the original 90-10ers for sure, and has been working with us in this community for a long time, and a couple other people like to give me a hard time about it, and so they would talk about how they were cooking their 6-minute green beans, they're cooking their 8-minute green beans, and from there came memes like, if you've ever seen something about Mary, and there's the hitchhiker, and he talks about 7-minute abs. He was going to come up with 7-minute abs to beat 8-minute abs, and then what's his name? That's in the show with him. His name is escaping my mind right now. The actor in Something About Mary. But anyway, he says, well, that's great until somebody comes out with 6-minute abs, and the guy's like, no, it's 7 minutes. 7 minutes. You can't work out in less than 7 minutes. Kind of hilarious. So memes started coming from that, and it became this big joke. So you'll probably get into that if you stick with us in 90-10. You'll see some 7-minute green bean jokes. And then our other little joke is about chili. So I have this chili recipe. A couple of people have already posted it in here, and they're trying it, and I love that. Heidi has a chili recipe that's vegetarian, and I don't really give her too hard of a time about it, except for to tell her that mine's better. But then Lisa has this chili recipe that is made with pork tenderloin and a jar of salsa verde and black beans and a few other things. And I basically tell her that it's more like Southwest stew instead of chili, because chili doesn't have salsa in it, and chili doesn't usually have black beans in it, and chili doesn't usually have pork. And I give her a really hard time about it, and she argues that it's chili, and I call it Southwest stew. And so we go back and forth on these things. And so I made the title of this video, we only expect perfection when you're cooking green beans and when you're defining chili, as a joke, because really we're not expecting perfection from anything that you do in this group. We're expecting trying. We're expecting progress. We're expecting making steps towards your goals. And this challenge is for you. The challenge is for you to make progress towards your goals. Please, please, please don't try to hold yourself to some kind of standard that you think we have for you out there, like that 7-minute standard. If you want to cook your green beans for 6 minutes, go ahead. I might make fun of you, but I won't make fun of you for having a meal plan that's not as complete as someone else's meal plan that gets posted in here. I won't do that, because the challenge is for you, and for you to make progress from where you're currently at to getting better at learning how to eat real foods. I'm here to help. Me and my team, we're here to help educate about what we believe about clean eating. We're not here to bash you for not meeting some standard that we've put out there. So I told somebody on email the other day, I think it was just yesterday, we were talking about a certain situation, and I said, you know what one of the problems is with having rules is that people follow them. and what I mean by that is that when you have a set of rules, some people will be so rigid about those rules and will be such a perfectionist about those rules that we can throw away common sense and we can throw away flexibility completely, and we can just say, well, the rules say this, and we get, you know, super crazy about them. And it's not how real life works. It's just not how real life works. So here's what I want you to realize. We're talking about meal planning right now. We're talking about using the meal planner, and I'm saying, you know, make a meal plan for 7 days and post a screenshot of it in the group. The point of that is not for you to make sure that your screenshot has 7 days on it. I talked to this in the group about with a couple people because I said make a 7-day meal plan. The point is for you to have a meal plan, right? And if your screenshot only has one of the days on it, there's no like points off or anything like that. There's no like, oh, you weren't perfect with what I said to do. I'm setting like a goal, you know, and if you're meeting the goal, but there's a piece of it like you only could get a screenshot of one day because you were using your phone and not on desktop, totally cool. We have the green, the yellow, and the red tiers. And this is one of the places where a lot of people get super perfectionist with it. And they're like, you know, well, this particular thing is on the red tier and it's in this product, so you should totally throw that food away and not eat it. In most cases, that's exactly what the tiers are there for, is to show you how to do that, to say, oh my God, this has this in it. But they're not there to be such verbatim compliance that they don't take into account real life, okay? Now, obviously, there's a line there. There's a balance there, because we don't want to use the idea of we don't have to be perfect as an excuse to not do our best, right? There's a difference there. You guys see the line that I talk about? What I'm talking about there is we don't have to comply with the rules just to comply with the rules. But we also don't break the rules because we don't have to comply with the rules. You know what I mean? Like, you need to do your best. But whatever your best is, we're not going to bash you for whatever your best is. Just do your best. If this is the first time you've ever made a meal plan for 7 days and you're like, I'm super overwhelmed here, do your best and make a couple of days of a meal plan, okay? There's no one going to take any points off of anything. There's no one going to tell you that you're not good enough. There's no one going to tell you that you're never going to make it in this. You've got to take from where you're at, and you've got to make steps towards what your goal is, not what my goal is for you, but what your goal is. You've got to take steps towards that. And that's what we're going for here. So we're going to put out challenges, and they're going to seem like standards. But you've got to think, I don't have to measure myself to that standard if that's not where I'm at. Okay? If that makes sense. So cook your green beans for 7 minutes, not 6, not 8. And make sure that you understand that chili with pork tenderloin and salsa verde in it is not chili. My chili is chili. Those are the things that you have to be perfect about, and I will hold you to those standards, but everything else is all good.